Yahweh once again. First of all, I just want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rikar Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akims out there that's been faithful to this word and doing the will of the Most High Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. Shalom, Yashaelah. Yeah, so first I just want to get into the, you see the title, The Destruction of America. And so that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to get into these missiles, man, you know, that that's coming upon America real soon. And you can see, you know, you can see all the nations, man, getting their army ready, man, getting their soldiers prepared for this war, man. Since the United States has stepped out the treaty with Russia about, you know, what types of nuclear missiles they can make. I think it's called the IF, some kind of treaty they called it. But yeah, man, it's so, I mean, they on the race to World War III, man. It's about to come down it's about to go down real soon. And now that's why I, you know, picked the kind of scenery that I got, where the Most High, you know, led me to come out here to this scenery. And you see how desolate, you know, and how desolate and how distraught and destroyed that this scenery look. And so that's how America, but America's gonna look worse than this. You know, America's gonna be fire and smoke when these nuclear missiles come and fall down upon America. So that's what we're gonna get into. And first we're gonna just go start out with Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34:5, chapter 34, verse 5. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment." So when you hear about Idumea, I think it's a Latin way of saying Edom. You know, Idumea is just another way of saying Edom or Edomites, which means red. All right. And so he said that his sword has been bathed in heaven. And heaven just means rulership. You know what I'm saying? Heaven just means the type of rulership. And he said his sword is bathed in heaven. And so that sword we know is those thermonuclear missiles. And let me read that again. He says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So we know that Idumea is the Edomites, which is the so-called white man. And the people of my curse, which would be 2/3 of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, you are the people of his curse. You know, we was cursed because, you know, we didn't rehearse the law, statutes, commandments like the Most High said to the best of our ability. You know, we went out, start serving other gods. Some went into Islam, some went into Christianity, you know, Judaism, Buddhism, you know, some became atheists. You know, people just started doing their own thing. Some just believe in the Old Testament, doesn't believe in the Messiah. So, I mean, that's the people of the Most High's curse, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and those who are scattered abroad that haven't came back into the fold, which you are called Gentiles today. All right, verse 6. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness and with the blood of the lamb and the goats. See, you hear that? So when you go into the New Testament, to the gospel, we understand that the lambs are who? You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. And the goats are all the other nations. The goats are all the other nations. So he's talking about the lamb. He said that, let me read this again, verse 6, Isaiah 34:6. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. That's his sacrifice. And it is made fat with fatness in the blood, and with the blood of the lambs, which is your so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you lost sheep of Israel, and goats, which is the other nations. Because, you know, a lot of you know, Israelites are following after these other nations, man. You know, you want to eat pork, you want to eat shrimp, you want to be homosexuals, lesbians, you want to be serving other gods, you know, which is Christianity, Islam, and, you know, the other religions out there. You want to celebrate these pagan holidays, which is Christmas and Halloween and all these different things. So the Most High says his sword going to be bathed in you, in your blood as well, because you haven't came up. That's why the word said, come up out of people. All right, and it says, it is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of the lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for Yahweh had a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. See, we know Bozrah was the main city in Edom, which is where the so-called white man was from, it was south of Judah, the land of the Edomites, you know. So Bozrah was the main city there, which we call the capital. So when it says that Yahweh have a sacrifice in Bozrah, and which is the capital city right now for these Edomites, America. You know, well, not really America. I would say Israel, where the Jewish people is. You know, that'd be Bozrah, because you know the Most High. Yeah, that'd be Bozrah in the Middle East, where the so-called fake Jews are. And he says, "In a great slaughter in the land of Idumea," and Idumea would be what? America. You know, this is the military power of the so-called white man. You know, and this is where the people that took the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are you Israelites, into captivity. You know what I'm saying? So America is Idumea, which is the Edomites. All right, now let's go to Isaiah 63 and 1. Follow me to Isaiah 63 and 1 right quick. We're gonna get this. So Bozrah is the capital of Edom, which would be the so-called Jewish people. All right, so-called Jews today, the Edomites, Khazars, where he said. And it says, chapter 63, this is Isaiah. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. So this is talking about Yahweh Shai, who you ignorantly call Jesus or Christ. You know, Yahweh Shai. So when Yahweh Shai coming, the Bible says he's going to come from where? Him and the angels, they're going to come from the east. And that's where Bozrah is, which we so-called Jewish people, man. So he says he's coming in with dyed garments. That dyed garments from Bozrah, that is glorious in his apparel. Nobody's more glorious than, you know, the only our Messiah, our big brother, Yahweh Shai. All right, he says that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Only person can save us is Yahweh Shai. You know, the Father, Yahweh Shai said, I haven't lost none who the Father has given unto me. So that's our Savior, Yahweh Shai, which means he that saves or he that delivers. And it says, he speaks in righteousness. And he was the word made manifest in flesh, which is what we read in today. This is the word. This is Yahweh Shai. Let me go ahead and read verse 2. He says, Isaiah 63 and 2, wherefore thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. So he said he was red in his apparel. Why was Yahweh Shai's apparel red? Because he just did a great slaughter in Bozrah. He coming to kill. And it means by his blood, that the blood was upon his garment. That's why I say it was red in thy apparel. And it says, like him that treadeth in the wine fat. So, excuse me, Salaki. If you know about anybody that ever tread in wine, if you watch these old movies, what they do, they get in there with their shoes off, you know, and they step, you know, squishing the grapes or the vines or the muscadines, whatever. They just, you know, they step on the grapes and just squish them until they just juice, you know. And if they got garments on, it'll be all red, because, you know, that's where you get your red wine from, your red grapes. And so that's why he was red in his apparel, because he just got through with a mighty slaughter. And it's talking about Yahweh Shai, all right, which was in Bozrah, which is over in the Middle East, which would be the head of the so-called white men today, the head of the Edomites, which is your Jewish Edomites, which is Jewish man, which is ruling the world right now, which is the 13 tribes. Yeah, they rule the world right now, which is your bankers, which is your so-called Illuminati, which is your Lucifer, that means the illuminated ones, because they know everything about us. All right, and I'll go to, let's turn to Jeremiah 49 and 13. Jeremiah 49 and 13. And it says, for I have sworn by myself, said Yahweh. The Most High said he sworn by himself. He got his word is on him. And whatever he say he gonna do, because he said his word goes forth and it never comes back void. It's when it's set out to accomplish, it's gonna accomplish. He said, for I have sworn by myself, said Yahweh, that Bosra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual wasted. So the Most High said that Bosra is going to become a desert, man. You know, desolation, which means it's going to be totally destroyed. You know, and then it says it's going to become a curse, and it says that all the other cities thereof are going to be a perpetual waste, which means America is going to be a perpetual waste. That means a continuous destruction. I mean, that means it's going to be void forever and ever, like the word say. Nobody will dwell here forever and ever. That it's going to be like a monument. People will, you know, come by and they will see the smoke and be like, wow, you know, Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, deliver who? Them so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the 12 tribes of Israel, out of this land, which is Babylon. So this is going to be a perpetual waste, man. Nobody will live here, but the Bible speaks of the unclean animals that will live here after this fire dies down, whenever that be, because it's going to be a desert after it's done. All right, now let's go to Jeremiah 50. Oh, wait, I'm right here too. Jeremiah 50, and we're going to start at 14, because we're going to get into this destruction. And it says, put yourself in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she had sinned against Yahweh. So the Most High is telling everybody that have missiles, especially IBM nuclear missiles, to put themselves in array against Babylon, which is America. And you see that these countries is breaking apart, and they all coming against America. When it says put yourself in array against her, that means, you know, surround her. You know, surround America. And that's what these nations are going to do, man. They're going to all come together, and they're going to shoot their arrows, which is their arrows are what? Those missiles. I mean, you ever seen the movie Broken Arrow, right? When they lost the missile, they call their missiles arrows. Matter of fact, give me a second. Let me see if I can look this up right quick. I'm gonna just put in arrows and see what come up. Let me see. I'm gonna put in broken arrows and see. Let me see if I can get something to come up. Let me see. Give me a second. Search. Let me see. Is this thing gonna work? I don't think it's really working. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can get it. I'm just gonna type in broken arrows and see if any kind of images comes up. Let's see if my internet is picking up. I don't think it's gonna pick up out here. Well, let me get back into this word, because it ain't gonna work. But we know that the arrows are the missiles, and that's why they got a thing called broken arrows. You know, let me see if something came up. Because I don't think it's gonna. Oh, look, here we go. Bam. So I typed in broken arrows, but it won't let me open it. But if you can look right here, you see that right there? Right there. You see that arrow? You see that missile? A missile came up because the missiles are known as arrows, man. You know, I just wanted to show you that. Let's get back into this word. It says, let me start again, Jeremiah 51 and 14. Jeremiah 50 and 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon, which is America. You know, surround America. Round about, all ye that bend the bow. You know, shoot at her, spur no arrows, for she had sinned against Yahweh. And let's talk about America. America has sinned against the Most High by what? By taking us into captivity, man. You know, this is what America did. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You lost 12 sheep of the house of Israel, was taken into captivity. You know, that's how America sinned against the Most High. And not only that, America went and moved people's boundaries, took people's lands. You know, the Most High said no man's boundary is supposed to be moved, man. So that's another sin against America. America made it okay for homosexuals to be married. That's another sin against America. That's why America is what? The spiritual Sodom, man. You know, and these are all the countries that's going to put themselves in the raid against America. All these countries, man, they're going to put these 18 nations in the world. You know, if you take the nation of Israel, Yasha'Allah, out, the other 17 nations is going to come against America. They're going to bomb them with missiles. All right. Verse 15, shoot against her round about. She had given her hand. Her fornications are falling. Walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her, as she had done. Do unto her. So the Most High Yahweh said, do unto America as it has done unto everybody else. You know, they raped, robbed, murdered, and killed everybody and pillaged all the lands. So that's why the Bible said that she should drink double, her cup should be double. Because everything that these Edomites has done, it's going to come upon them double. All right? Now, let me see. Follow me to, 1 second, my people. Yeah, follow me to, let's just go to Isaiah 51. Jeremiah 51. Let's start at verse 1, man. Let's start there. It says, thus says Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, which is America. The Most High says he's going to raise up against America, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me. So he said he's going to, hold on, let me read that again. Isaiah chapter 51, Salakia, verse 1. Thus says Yahweh, behold, I will rise up against Babylon, which is America. The Most High says he's going to rise up against America, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me. So that's why the Bible said, though hand join in hand, you know, the wicked should not go unpunished. So even the ones that dwell in the midst of America that's going against him, that's going against the Most High Yahweh, that's like what he's saying is those who are going against us, the prophets, the men that's out here bringing truth, you know, day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? During rain, sleet, hail, or snow. We out here bringing this truth, 100% truth. And those that goes against us, you going against the Most High, because we're just vessels, man. I mean, I never seen myself doing this. This ain't what I wanted to do, but this is what I was called to do. And once the Most High called me to do this and stirred that spirit up in me, this became my first love. All right, so the Most High is going to be against everybody that's against his men. Not only the Edomites, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that's going against the prophets, the Most High is going to be against you as well. Okay, he says, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. The Most High says he's going to bring a destroying wind. What can be a destroying wind? A destroying wind would be when those nuclear missiles hit, those arrows hit, you know, that it's going to wipe. You know what I'm saying? When that radiation and that liquid fire hit, that's just like when a volcano hit. When the volcano erupt, what do the lava look like? Look like a running fire or a running river. Look like a water that's running, but it's fire. So when those nuclear missiles hit, man, it's going to wipe everything out. That's that destroying wind. You know, when those missiles hit and explode, that what comes from it is the destroying wind. Go look and see what America did to Japan. You know what I'm saying? When them missiles explode, them what was it? They weren't nuclear missiles. When they exploded, man, you should have seen the wind. You know, the thrust from those missiles explode and just, you know what I'm saying, just wipe out through the land. And they said even people's shadows was upon. That fire was so bad, it was atomic missiles. Those fires was, that missile was so bad that When it burnt people's shadows into the walls. Now, just imagine how nuclear missiles are much, much stronger than those and powerful than those. And it says, so that's that destroying wind, those nuclear missiles. 2. Verse 2 says, Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 2, and will send upon Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So when the Most High talking about it's going to send against Babylon, which is America, fanners are just fanners are strangers or foreigners, an enemy. You know, which you can look that up in H. The number for that is H2114, which means an enemy. So the Most High is going to send an enemies round about America. It said with Shafana, you know, if I take this and fan, what comes with that? Wind. So what's that wind gonna be when those missiles hit? That fire that goes out. And it says that shall fan her and shall empty her land. So it lets you know that America is gonna be empty. It's gonna be empty out. Nobody's gonna dwell here. If you're not part of the election of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, only ones that's going to be delivered out of America are the 1/3 and the 144,000, which are the election of the Most High. Everybody else is going to be destroyed in America. Everybody else. Ain't no other nation making it out of America. If you're not of the 12 tribes of Israel, you're definitely not making it out this disaster in America. You're not making it. And I'm not sorry to tell you that. And it says, which shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So like it says earlier in the last scriptures, they said go arrayed against her. That means America's going to be surrounded by missiles. Verse 3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. You know, the archer is like the Salem that the missiles are in, you know, which thrust the missiles out. That's the archer. And the missile that comes out is what the Bible calls the arrow. And it says, verse 3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up is Burgundy. Burgundy is you know your war uniform. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, it was when you watched them old those old mid during the first century when they had the metal suits on and all that to stop the thrust of a sword or a cut from a knife, the little chains and stuff. That's Brigadins. You know, that's your war outfit. And spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. So the Most High said, don't even spare the young men. Anybody that's in the army, so-called Edomite white man's army, the army of America or these other nations that's gonna try to go against the Most High, try to go against Yahweh Shai and the angels, all of them gonna be destroyed. And it says in all her hosts. Host just means armies. When you hear the word said the Lord of hosts, that means Yahweh of armies. Host just means army. So the Most High said, destroy all her young men in her armies. In the armies. When it says all her armies, because what America is known as what? America is known as a female. You know, that's the whore that rides the beast, right? Matter of fact, let's go to Revelations. Let's go to Revelation 17. I think that is. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Because America is known as a woman. That's why when you sing our national anthems, it says land where her, it always says her. When it's talking about America, it's always you. Let me see, what was that scripture? One second, my people. Well, I'm gonna get it after this. It says, verse 4. This is back in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 4. Thus the Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans. Chaldeans, like your ancient Babylon was your elite. You know what I'm saying? Like your head people of the country. And so when it talks about the Chaldeans right here, it's talking about the leaders of America. You know what I'm saying? The lower level leaders. And it says, and they that are thrust through in her streets, because it's also going to be race riots out here, civil war, martial laws coming. So I mean, it's going to be a lot of people put to death out here in these streets. And the last straw to be the last prophecy to come true would be the World War III when those nuclear thermal missiles, IBM missiles, hit America. For verse 5, for Israel had not been forgotten. So the Most High Yahweh said He haven't forgot us. We're not forgotten, man. That's why you see everybody you see all these Edomites, so-called white people, man. They committing suicide. They can't have children. You know what I'm saying? And you can see the kingdom of America, man. Their kingdom just falling before their eyes, man. They're trying to make us look like terrorists and evil men because we're reading out the Bible. Because they have no other tactics to come against us with, man. Because we speaking the truth. We speaking the word of the Most High Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai. Verse 5, for Israel have not been forgotten, nor Judah of his power. Who is Judah? You so-called Negroes in America. You know what I'm saying? And the so-called Haitians and Jamaicans and West Indies falls up under the banner of Judah as well, which is the southern kingdom. Judah was the head. Okay, it says, of Yahweh of hosts, though their lands was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. So the Most High said, even though we went off, we haven't been forgotten, man. And He's coming back for us. He's coming back to put these jokers to death and to deliver us back to our land. All right, let's go to let's turn with me to Revelation 17, and we're gonna start at 1. Revelation 17 and 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So when I was telling you that America was known as the woman, and that's what this is talking about. It's talking about America, call her the great whore that sat upon many waters, and that's talking about America. America sat upon many waters. What you got? You got the Atlantic, you got the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, you got the Gulf of Mexico, you got the Mississippi River that runs all the way through America. You know what I'm saying? So the America is the whore that sits upon many waters, man. And it says, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sat upon many waters. Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornications. And that's all these other nations, that came up on the American democracy, man. That teamed up with America to cause mischief around the world. That teamed up with America to bring us into slavery. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. That's the kings that it's talking about, man. Which would be most of your countries in NATO, in the EU. NATO is the beast, and America is the whore that rides that beast. When you ride on a horse, the man that has the strap in his hand, he guides the horse. And that's what America is doing to NATO. They guided it. All right. Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 7 horns. And that's talking about America, man, in the EU, man. Those 7 great nations of the so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? The 7 lead nations, which I think it came up, and that's what started the EU. All right. And America was, and it says, let me see. And it says, and I saw a woman set upon a scarlet colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 7 horns, man. Verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple, which means purple stands for royalty, and in scarlet colors, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. That's talking about America, which is the so-called king of the world right now. And these so-called Edomites, man. You know, they're running the world. And that cup is those fornications, that abominations of homosexuality, these pagan holidays, all these laws that they're passing, man. Evil laws, man. That cup has everything in it, man. Taking people land, great slaughter, everything is in that cup. And it says, verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. That's talking about America. It's a mystery. That's why I say Mystery Babylon the Great. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a mystery to us no more, because the Most High revealed it to him. The Bible said that Yahweh revealed his secrets unto his prophets. So we know that America is that mystery, is Babylon. It's you all that don't know. And we're telling you, if you accept it. Verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Who the saints? You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are the saints. We are the Israelites. And she was drunken with our blood. The way she slaughtered and slain us, the way the so-called white man, the Edomites, slaughtered and slain. I mean, how they put us to death, man. Hung us, burnt us, raped us. They did what they can do to us, man. Fed us the dogs, ripped us in half, cut our women wombs up and stumped the babies and fed them the dogs. You know, so these Edomites are drinking with our blood, especially America, man. Babylon. And with the blood of the martyrs, the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Verse 7. And the angel said unto me, wherefore doest thou marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carried her, which is the beast that carried this woman is NATO, which had the 7 heads and the 10 horns. So that's EU and NATO together. The 10 horns is NATO, and the 7 heads is the EU, the European Union. All right, now I just wanted to show you that about this. Just let you know that America is known as a woman. It is the whore that rides the beast, which means that rides these other Edomite countries. They the head, nunchos. But the head money is your so-called Jewish man, the elites, the 13th tribe, you know, which would be your Rothschilds and so on and so forth, which is Basra. All right, let's go to, and let me just show you how the Most High is going to destroy America, man. Let's go to Isaiah. Let's go back to Isaiah 54. Let's go back to Isaiah 54 and 16. Isaiah 54 and 16. I'm going to start at 15. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. So all these nations that's coming against us, even you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans in America that's coming against us, you Israelites, the Most High say you're going to fall. You're going to fall. He's going to destroy you. Verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the air, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And so when the Most High said he created the smith, man, the smith was the person that, you know, that dealt with metal. You know, they built the weapons. The Most High said he created the smith. So he's letting you know in this verse that he created these nuclear missiles, the wasters that destroy. That's these nuclear missiles. Matter of fact, let me see if I got give me a second. Let me see if I got a picture. You know, I like to do visuals, so, you know, our people got a short attention span. I like to do visuals, man, so you can understand what this word is saying. You know, most people can't see it. They don't picture it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm picturing this thing. You know, I'm picturing this thing. You know, and that's that archer and that arrow. That's the archer right here, and that's the arrow. You know, that's that waster, man. That's that destroying wind. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High, he said he this, man. He created the Smith that created this, man. This is his army, man. You know, this destroying wind. This is the Most High's army. He did this. This is his sword. This is his sword being bathed in heaven. You know, so the Most High's not playing, man. He ain't no joke. He's coming to put you jokers to death. So, you know, you better get right now. You better get right now while you got a chance. So let's get back into this word. So the Most High said he created the waster to destroy. And that's nuclear missiles. The Most High created those. All right, follow me to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel right quick. Ezekiel 54, no, Ezekiel 22 and Ezekiel 22 and 20. And this is what it reads. 22 and 20. And it says, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of a furnace to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in my anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. So the Most High is saying that if you don't get right with him, he's going to leave you here when he dropped those nuclear missiles on America and melt you with America. If you don't get right with him, he said he's going to leave you there and melt you. Now let's go to verse 21. Ezekiel 22 and 21. Yea, I will gather you and will blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melt in the midst thereof. So that's talking about this destruction that's coming, man. He's going to melt everything, even the people. And you can go, we're going to go to Zechariah. I'll show you that in Zechariah 14 and 12. Let's go to Zechariah 14, 12. And it says, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. In there, what happened with this thermonuclear, war, with this World War III, this thermonuclear fire, it's gonna the missiles when they explode, it's gonna be like water. This fire is gonna be like water, and it's gonna drown you. You're gonna be drowned in fire. That's that lake of fire that the Bible talk about. You know, it ain't talk about going in the midst of the ground to know some kind of hell in the ground, which is Greek mythology. No, it's talking about those thermonuclear missiles. And that's the water, that's the fire, the lake of fire that you're gonna drown in if you don't get right with Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah.